I'm Sideline Sedo. This is the Prem preview for match week 6 of the 23-24 Prem season. Let's get straight into the video. Make sure to make your predictions in the comments below and like the video if you end up enjoying. As always, if you're new to the channel and you make it through the video or you end up enjoying it, consider subscribing. Starting with Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Crystal Palace lost 3-1 to Aston Villa last week. Fulham beat Luton 1-0 at home. And this is a mid-table clash through and through. 9th versus 10th. If I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm that with the table. 9th and 10th, yeah. So 9th and 10th. Roy Hodgson, hopefully he's recovering well. I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw. Goals from Eberechi Eze and Edouard, and we'll see a goal from, let's say, who can score here for them? Wilson and Wilson and Iwobi will score for Fulham. So match will finish 2-2. I think it'll be a draw. Both sides right now trying to figure out what their aspirations are for this season. They don't want to end up in mid-table. They want to push further up, but we'll see how they progress. Both sides have lost some key players in the recent window, so going to be an interesting clash. Roy Hodgson versus Marco Silva. I believe they both managed Watford at the time, but moving forward with Luton versus Wolves, and it's a tough one. I'm honestly going to predict the 0-0 draw. I know that's kind of the boring thing to do, starting off with 2 predictions for draws, but Luton just doesn't look all that great this season. If we look at their most recent performances, they've only beaten Gillingham in the League Cup. Besides that, they've lost every single fixture. And Wolves are coming from the back of, shipping 6 goals across 2 games and losses to both Liverpool and Crystal Palace. They haven't won in the Premier League since beating Everton at, I think this is at Goodison, right? Or was this at the Molineux? I can't remember. But regardless, both sides just don't look that great. If I were to say a side that might win it, it's probably Wolves. They're favorites, but I'm going to predict the 0-0. Yeah, going to be a boring one, I think. Next is Man City versus Nottingham Forest. And I will get into my FPL team in a bit, but this is going to be a fixture where Haaland's just going to feast, coming off the back of, slightly nervy Champions League performance midweek against Crvena Zvezda. City will be looking to fire on all cylinders. I would assume Haaland starts. Who knows? With Pep, he might rotate, but he doesn't really have too many forwards to rotate. Maybe Oscar Bob or somebody comes in. We'll see how that, ends up playing out. But Nottingham Forest, I really like them. They're on a good run of form. But if we look at their stats, a draw against Burnley, not the best. A win against Chelsea is great. They did lose to Burnley in the Cup, and they also lost to Man United 3-2. But I still think they're going to... There's nothing stopping City here. City's going to win, let's say, 5-0. Hat trick from Julian Alvarez and a goal from Haaland and say Doku. 5-0. Sorry, Nottingham Forest fans. Brentford versus Everton. This will be interesting to see, honestly. Brentford, if I'm not mistaken, they are kind of languishing, not languishing really, but they're somewhere, they're mid-table. So they need this win against Everton, against Everton. Everton need this win against Brentford. It's at Brentford. Brentford looks the far better side. No offense, Everton. I know I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think that's not a controversial thing to say. So I'm going to predict a 2-1 Brentford win. We'll see goals from Mbeumo and, let's say, Damsgaard, if he's fit. I don't even know if he's fit, but I'm just going to say Damsgaard. And Everton will see Beto score. Next up is Burnley versus Man United. Former Manchester City captain facing off at Turf Moor with his side Burnley against Manchester United. United needed this win, but this is going to be a really tough ask for Burnley to not lose, realistically. United have lost 3 consecutive games in all competitions. The only win in the last 5, the only fixture that wasn't a loss is the 3-2 win against Nottingham Forest. And even then, that's kind of it's kind of slight. But I'm gonna say it ends 2-1 Man United. It'll be a hard fought win. We'll see a goal from Bruno Fernandes and maybe Garnacho, let's say. Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho. Burnley, we'll see, let's say, I think Zaruri is going to score. Sorry, Anas Zaruri. Butchered your name there. But moving on to Sunday, which is where the most of the fixtures are, the big meat and potatoes of the week. The North London Derby is going to be a big match. And this is one that it's hard to predict. Both sides on really good runs of form. No losses for either of them. I would say that all in all, Spurs are, maybe a little worse than Arsenal at the moment. But I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw. Goals from Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard. And we'll see Richarlison and Son score for Tottenham. I think this can be a great match. I'm considering going live for it. Stay tuned. I will be live by the time this video is up with some EAFC 24 content. Very excited about that. But we got to keep moving. Brighton versus Bournemouth. I'm going to predict a 4-1 Brighton win. We'll see goals from Matoma, Pedro, and let's say a brace from Evan Ferguson. For Bournemouth, I think we'll see a goal from... Honestly, I think Solanke will probably score. I could see him scoring this fixture. Next is Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Also for Brighton Bournemouth. I just would like to clarify that Bournemouth is really not doing the best point tally-wise, so this could be a fixture for them to bounce back, but I just don't see it because Brighton is doing so well, even after their loss to AEK Athens. But Chelsea versus Aston Villa is another fixture where Chelsea really have got to pick it up here. If they lose this, that's 6 games played, 5 points. Less points than matches played. That is going to be very, very obnoxious for Chelsea to experience, should it be the case. Villa, though, here could, a win here with some good results going their way, could see them creep up into 6th, potentially 5th, right around there, right outside the Champions League spots. So I'm going to predict a draw. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, a goal from Raheem Sterling and a goal from Moussa Diaby. I think it's going to be a hard-fought, intense match. But yeah, that's my prediction. Next is Liverpool versus not Aston Villa. Sorry, the claret blue, and the maroon kind of always mix up for me. But this is a tough match to predict. Liverpool's at home. I do think Liverpool will win. It's just how does the match go? And I'm going to predict 4-2. 4-2 is kind of a zany scoreline, but Liverpool's been having a lot of zany scorelines. I could see this match starting with Liverpool taking 1-0 lead, and then maybe West Ham equalize rather quickly after that and take the lead before the end of the first half to lead 2-1. Then Liverpool come back and score another 3 goals in the second half. That's just the vibe I'm getting from this fixture. We'll see goals from Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, Salah, Nunez, Diaz. Let's say Szoboszlai. Let's say we get 4 goal scorers for Liverpool. Szoboszlai scoring again at Anfield. But yeah, that is... Oh, no, there's one more match. Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Sheffield United, if you're not familiar, are not doing too well. Neither are Newcastle, but Newcastle will beat them comfortably. Let's say 2-0. 2-0 win away from home. See someone like Callum Wilson score a penalty, and maybe Miguel Almiron. Gosh, I just butchered his name. Miguel Almiron will score the second to see off the game. Quickly, let me make my fantasy team for this upcoming week. Do I have to make any subs? I don't know. I mean, as of right now, I'm fairly comfortable with this. I did adjust this last video, I think, but the question becomes, do I want to play a triple captain on Haaland against Nottingham Forest this week? It's at home. How many minutes did he play in? Let me see. I'm going to confirm how many minutes Haaland played in the Champions League this week so that I could get an idea as to whether or not I want to triple captain him, because there's going to be other opportunities to triple captain. There's not going to be one for a while. Like the Bournemouth game is definitely a triple captain. But let's see. He played against Sideline Zvezda. Let's see lineup. He played the full 90. I mean, he always usually does play a full 90. But I mean, do I want to triple captain him? Tough to say. You know what? Let's just do it. We're going to triple captain Erling Haaland this week, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what Fantasy Premier League is all about. Taking educated risks up to 451,000 out of like 10 million. Slowly climbing. Hopefully this week's a big week. And yeah, that's the vid, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to comment down below. What are your predictions for this upcoming game week 6 of the 23-24 Premier League season? Make sure to like the video if you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoyed the content. There's plenty more on the channel. I'll be live with some EAFC Ultimate Team content, some pack openings. Stay tuned and join me if you're willing to, watch. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'm Sideline Sedo. Truly appreciate it. Peace.